So, remember that video that I did a year or so ago directed straight towards one Mr. Stevie T? Well, he has since offered up an apology for the Richard Benson video that my video was addressed towards. I wasn't, I've been working pretty hard the last several weeks to get caught up a week ahead of where I normally am, so that I wouldn't have to worry about making any other videos this week, because I've got a pretty in-depth demo that I'm working on. I wanted plenty of time to focus on that. So I am kind of breaking my own rules, but I did want to address this, because a couple of viewers actually commented on my video that I posted, like I said, about a year ago in response to the Richard Benson video, and told me that Stevie T had just recently posted a video and apologized for it. So I checked it out, and they were in fact correct. Here's the reason why I posted that video and I was upset. And let me preface all this by saying I've never had an ounce of ill will towards Stevie T at all. That video did not change my opinion of him. I still think his channel's great. I still think he's a monster guitar player. I got a lot of respect for the guy. He's worked hard, and he's got he's had the success on YouTube that I hope to achieve at least a portion of myself one day. So, I have nothing but respect for Stevie T. I've never had any ill will towards him. No hard feelings. I disagreed with one thing that he did, and I disagreed strongly enough that I decided to make my own video. I guess I didn't have to, but I decided to. He had made a video that was basically poking fun of a man named Richard Benson. And in short, Richard Benson was once a pretty well-known guitar player in Italy, I believe. And there are videos out there of him. Clearly he was once able to play guitar pretty well. He had developed some sort of weird arthritis or something in his hands, and it crippled his playing. And long story short, it cost him everything. And he is now currently unable to play with the same proficiency that he once could. And it's caused him a lot of heartache in his own life. I even heard reports that he even attempted suicide because his depression over not being able to play like he used to be able to finally took its toll. He still does perform regularly. People, and it's pretty sad to see, because people throw food and all kinds of stuff at him. At his performances, and it's just really, really sad to see. So the reason why I was upset is because the truth is, whether he goes out and performs horribly, and that's his shtick, and that's kind of part of the running joke, or if he is merely just going out and performing regularly because he feels that he has lost everything else, and he feels that music is the only thing that he has left. A few people have left comments on my previous video, who seem to have had direct dealings with Richard Benson, that seem to indicate that it could very well be the latter. That said, nobody really knows for sure, but the reason why I took exception to somebody poking fun at him was, honestly, I don't understand why so many people are not willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, so that's the backstory. Stevie T recently posted another video, and this video wasn't solely designated towards that, but he did spend some time talking about it. And, he did say that he went back and watched the video here again a year or so later, and now thinks that, he did come across as kind of a dick. Those were his words, not me. So those are his words. And, went on to, basically apologize, and even offered to take the video down if, his fan base deems that that's what he wants him to do. Now I'm going to offer no opinion one direction or the other. Whether or not I think he should do that is entirely up to him. If he leaves it up, I'm okay with it. If he takes it down, I'm okay with it. So, it just depends. Anyway, so I said this in the first video. I don't think that Stevie T ever meant to do any harm. I don't think that his video was meant to be malicious in any way. He did mention here in his recent address of this that He didn't know at the time that Richard Benson was, physically and mentally disabled. So, and I mentioned in my last video about this that I kind of suspected that was the case. That said, I think maybe a little bit more care should have been taken into, researching who you're parodying before you do so. So, at any rate, I saw this video, and I was very, very pleased with how Steve handled it, and I even left a comment on that video, and basically, said I was glad to hear it, and I would love the opportunity to chat directly with Steve about this, should he decide that he would like to do so. Like I said, I don't know if there's ever, he did not mention me specifically in his apology about this at all, by the way. It sounds like he mentioned, he's been getting heat for this for a while now, from a lot of people. So he did not mention me directly at all. And to be clear, I've never spoken with him. I've never met the man. We're not acquainted at all. So Stevie T did take the time to address it and apologize here publicly, so I thought I would take the time to address it as well and tell everybody that I did see it. I do, in fact, appreciate his apology, and it does, in fact, confirm my initial suspicions about Stevie T in that, I've always thought that he seemed to be a pretty good guy. So, that he just made a mistake. And we're all capable of that. So, anyway, Stevie T, if you don't see my comment, I know you are very rapidly nearing 2 million subscribers, and there's no way that you could possibly read every single comment that comes your way. So, if you or one of your moderators do not see that comment, maybe one of you will see this video, and in which case, as I mentioned previously, if you would like to set aside some time to sit down and chat with me directly, I would love the opportunity to do that. Like I said, I have never had any resentment or ill will or anything like that towards you at all. It was merely a disagreement, one that I just happen to feel strongly about. And I'm still a fan. I still follow your channel. I still admire your skills as a musician and and as an entertainer and all that stuff. So, no hard feelings here from me. I hope there was never anything like that from you towards me as well, if you were even aware of me saying so. So that is what I wanted to turn on the camera and address here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to check this out. Please don't forget to do the like, comment, subscribe thing. Adios. See you later. Bye.